Yes, you read the title right. Last month I ran 5k every day, and in this video I'm going to tell you exactly what happened. So first, let's go through the stats. 5k every day for a month, that's 30 days running with no days off. And the total distance that I ran was 150 kilometers over the month. To break it down a little bit further, that's around 120,000 steps worth of running, and it's the equivalent to about 3.5 marathons. Obviously, don't get it wrong though, doing 3.5 marathons would be a lot harder in one go than it would be breaking it down to 5k every single day, but there were plenty of challenges and there's a lot to talk about. So let's have a little talk about it. First off, I wanted to start by talking about why exactly I did this challenge. What made me put myself through a whole month of running with no days off? Well, it wasn't for me, it was for charity. I decided to do a fundraiser for cancer research, and if you do want to check out that fundraiser page, it is linked in the description of this video. So how did I come about this challenge, this fundraiser challenge? I was just scrolling through Facebook, just having a little doom scroll, and I came across this advert, run 5k every day in April for cancer research. And due to my impulsive behavior, I looked at it and I said, go on then. Why not? It's always so much easier to sign yourself up for something when you're not doing it. And when you actually get around to doing it, you think back to your previous self and think, why did you do that? And I'm going to explain a little bit more about those feelings that I had later on in the video. But I just want to say for right now, we did the fundraiser, we completed it, and I raised £650 at the point of recording this video, which is amazing. It's more than I ever thought I'd raise. And I'm not done there. It's like I say, the link to the fundraiser page is in the description. It's still open, and the fundraiser page is ran by Cancer Research. So if you send a donation through that page, it goes directly to them. We've raised £650 so far, but there's no reason why we couldn't shoot for 1,000. If we all work together, I know we can get there. So how did I find the challenge? And I'm not talking about how did I locate this challenge on Facebook. We've talked about that already. I'm talking about my feelings. How did I feel during the challenge? What happened? Well, the first few days of the challenge weren't too bad. I was getting out there, I was doing my 5Ks, I was feeling very motivated and I was excited. So I wanted to see what I could do with this. I wanted to see how my body would change. I wanted to see how active I would become. I wanted to see how my resting heart rate would come down and how my cardiovascular system would get stronger. So the first few days I had the motivation and I was feeling raring to go. And I was clocking in the runs and I was feeling good. But this challenge absolutely had its ups and downs. There were some days that I was in pain. I was getting pain in my knees, my shins, my calves, my ankles, basically my whole lower body. But then there were also some days where I really just had to cram in the 5k. There was one day this month where I went to see the Mighty Posh beat Birmingham at Wembley. I left my home at like 9 a.m. that day, and it was actually supposed to be earlier, but my taxi didn't come. But that's another story, right? But I got back that day at midnight. So it meant I had to get up even earlier than I would have already and get my 5k in before going to London. And you know what it's like, you know, if you live in the UK, you're going around London, you're walking around an awful lot. It's a long day, it's a tiring day. And I also just had to fit in the 5k run before I went and did that. There was also another day that I went to London to watch Stranger Things with Amy, and I had the same thing then, but she booked the train at 8:15. So I had to get up even earlier on that day, get the 5k run in, because realistically, when I got back, I wasn't going to do it. So yes, there were some days where the conditions weren't perfect. I also had to do a few of my runs at work. I have to commute into work. My work is not where I live. Luckily, I only have to go in twice a week though. But on some of those days, I did get my run in on my lunch break, and then I came back in and had a shower. I'm very fortunate that my workplace has showers. But it did add a lot on to the day, which meant that it was an inconvenience, but I still got it done. And with that being said, I do think the hardest part about this challenge a lot of the time was just finding the time to do it, because the 5k run itself is about half an hour, but you've also got to prepare for it. You've also got to get changed and have your clothes with you ready, like running shoes and your running t-shirt and stuff like that. And then you got to think about your recovery as well afterwards. You got to think about your preparation before warming up, maybe getting in a little bit of carbs like a banana and some water as well, things like that. There's a lot that goes into it, and you have to find that time, not just when it's convenient, but every single day, regardless of how much you've got going on. And that for me was the hardest part. But also going out with pain was tough, as you can imagine. It's like I was saying before, you know, I was suffering with pain in my knees. There was pain sort of shooting down my shins and my calves at certain times. It wasn't constant, but sometimes I'd get out there for a run and I'd already sort of feel my lower body really aching, and it just really felt like I didn't want to go. My body didn't feel like it was ready to do the run, but I had to just push through and do it anyway. And with this as well, there were a few times that I really felt like stopping during the run. I didn't feel like I had it in me. I felt like I had no energy. I felt like I couldn't keep up my breathing. But the fact that I wasn't doing this for me really kept me in it. I think sometimes we need something external in order to keep us going. Because if you rely solely on yourself and how you feel, oftentimes you won't get the job done. So whenever I've done these fundraiser events, I find that that's really what keeps me going. When I was seeing the donations coming in, when I know that I'm doing it for cancer research, when I'm doing it to try and save lives, and eventually something like this could help save the life of one of my family members or even my own life, suddenly it didn't feel that difficult to go out there for half an hour each day and get these 5Ks in. There are people out there, of course, that have cancer at the moment that are struggling with it every single day. They don't get to decide whether they can have it or not. And that's the mindset I had going into these runs, is no matter how much I've got going on that day, no matter how tired I feel, I'm still going to get it done, because that is just a sliver of what people have to experience when they have this awful disease. And that really kept me going too. So you're probably also wondering, did I have any injuries? Did I pick up any injuries at the end or after? And the answer really is no. I had a lot of aches and pains, but there was never a time where I was stopped in my tracks by a certain injury, maybe my knee giving way, or I was thinking that this could happen, especially as I got later into the runs and I was going out when I still felt pain. I thought to myself, I really do hope that my body holds out, because I was starting to have some doubts of whether it would or not. Luckily though, I didn't maintain any injuries. But what I will say is, still 1 week on from the challenge right now, I don't feel perfect. I feel like it's had some sort of lasting effects. I feel like my legs are still kind of feeling it a little bit, especially when I'm doing some cardio. I went out for some sprints today and I could really feel that in my legs. And I don't know whether that's because it was just a hard workout and I was feeling the effects afterwards, or whether those 5Ks every day for a month had something to do with it. But I still don't feel perfect. And one thing that you may not have expected me to feel from this challenge is that I actually got some pain in my shoulder and my rotator cuff. It's this right one. When I pull it up here, I can really feel like a tight feeling in my shoulder or my rotator cuff. I can't really pinpoint exactly where it is, but it's in that area. And I noticed it a couple of weeks in. I went to the gym and I was going to do a push session. So I got on the bench and I was going to do some incline press. And I hadn't really done much like pressing for a little while. To be honest with you, my gym workouts took a hit because I was running every single day. But I got the dumbbells up and I really just felt something in my shoulder and a little bit in the other one as well. And that's something that you may not realize. Your shoulders actually get involved in your runs a lot more than you would think. I mean, you just have to think about it. With your feet hitting the ground every single time, doing this high impact activity, you're going to feel it across your body. And so a lesson to really be learned from this is make sure you always warm up your shoulders. Don't neglect your shoulders when you're warming up for a run. It can be so easy to think about your calves, your hamstrings, doing the shoe the chickens, doing some knee hugs for your hips. Obviously, it's really important to warm these muscles up. But don't neglect your shoulders, because I picked up a little bit of a ache, a little bit of a pain around my shoulder area. And I think it was due to the lack of warming up of my shoulders. I fell for the same thing. Make sure when you're going out for runs that your shoulders get warm as well, whether we're doing some shoulder circles, whether we're doing some like jogging on the spot and making sure we really emphasize our arm movements. Make sure you're getting them shoulders warm before you go out for a run, because that's something that I picked up that I did not expect to pick up. And now, something that people have probably been wondering, what happened to my weight? It's so common for people to think that, oh, and I had this multiple times, people said this to me, you're running every single day, you're going to lose so much weight. Not necessarily. So what happened to my weight after 1 month of running 5k every single day? It stayed the same. And this really shows the importance of a calorie deficit. I'll show you a before video on the screen right now of what I look like on day 1. And I'll also show you an after video of what I look like now. I'm virtually the same. And the reason for this is because I just wasn't in a calorie deficit. Because I wasn't getting that time to recover, because I was having to get out every single day and do a run no matter what, I felt like I sort of ate a bit more to help me recover. My body just felt like it needed more food to help with the recovery because I wasn't having that proper rest. And if I'm being completely honest, I think my mental health took a little bit of a hit. A lot of the time, I really didn't want to go for a run. My body was crying out for a rest and it really took over my mind. You know, every day, my run was up here on my list of priorities and it really just took away from a lot of the other things in my life. It made me not want to go to the gym as much. I ended up skipping some days at the gym because I'd finish work and just have a nap instead because I would just feel so tired. It was making me feel really lethargic, and like I say, it was making me feel like I needed to eat more food in order to recover. And it also made me just want to eat more bad food as well, you know. I was reaching for the chocolate and the biscuits and stuff quite a lot because I wanted something nice, and it was almost like I was rewarding myself for getting the runs done rather than really thinking about what I wanted to get out of doing this challenge. In terms of my own fitness and body, my number one priority with this challenge was raising awareness for cancer research and getting them the money that they need. But also the reason why I chose for it to be a fitness challenge is, number one, I'm obviously a fitness guy, so it kind of makes sense. But number two, I wanted to challenge myself physically and see what I could achieve by doing something like that. And I feel like I didn't really get much out of it in terms of that. I think my resting heart rate actually went down and doing these runs got easier. So my cardiovascular system actually improved. That's a good thing, but I didn't see any change in my weight. And as I say, it just shows the importance of being in a calorie deficit because running does not equal weight loss. That's a calorie deficit. You can burn 500 calories every day by running, but if you're still eating 500 calories over your maintenance, that scale is still going to be even and you're not going to lose any weight. So the calories are your number one priority when it comes to losing weight. Then comes your steps and cardio. Then comes everything else. If you haven't got the calories in order, if you're still eating too much food, you're not going to lose weight. It just so happens that doing daily cardio can also tip that scale and make things a little bit easier. So what's my plan going forward now? Well, I'm looking to do the Great Eastern Run this year. I think it's at the end of October. It's a half marathon and I've got my eyes on sub 2. I want to be able to do a sub 2 hour marathon. I've currently done 2 half marathons before. I did one in Nottingham where I got a 2 hour 19 time. And I did one last year in Leicester where I got 2 hours and 3 minutes. I'm closing in on that sub 2 hour time. And I think this year is my year to do it. So I'm going to be doing the Great Eastern Run. And what am I going to do about my running in general? How is my training going to change now? Well, let me just make it real clear. I am not running every day. It's currently 9, or I guess you could say 10 days on from the challenge. It finished last Wednesday, and what I did was I had a rest for the rest of the week. I didn't run. I did my first run back on Wednesday of this week, so I took a full week off, and then today, it's Friday today, and I've got the day off, so I thought it'd be a perfect day to record this video. I went out and I did some sprint work. I did some 400 meters, 200 and 100 meter sprints. So the actual plan for running is that on Tuesdays, I'm going to be doing a long run. On Thursdays, I'm going to be doing some speed work. And on Saturdays, I'm going to be doing my local park run, which by the way is at Ferry Meadows. So if anyone wants to come and do it with me, come and meet me, come and chat to me about the whole thing, I would love that. And the Ferry Meadows Park Run is one of my favorite runs to do. It's a great run. There's so many people that go there. It's a great course, great community, and I'd highly recommend it. But I'm not going to let this running slip, right? So when I did my 2 half marathons previously, my one in Nottingham and my one in Leicester, what I ended up doing is I worked really hard to get the fitness that I needed to do the half marathons in the training, and I was doing my runs every week, and then I just fell off. I just finished the half marathon and said, right, now I'm going to have a little break. 3 months later, I'm still having a break. I'm not letting this slip now. I'm going to keep the runs going. Like I say, I've already done the 2 runs that I was planning to do this week, and tomorrow I'm going to go and do the park run. I'm not going to let it slip. But I'm also going to make sure that I'm doing my training in the gym as well. In the gym, I'm doing 4 days a week at the moment, and I'm doing an anterior-posterior split. If you want to learn more about that, please do leave a comment and let me know that you're interested to hear what my gym split is like, because I may be bringing you guys something on that soon. But that overall is how the training is going. We're doing 3 runs a week and 4 gym sessions. So that is the end of the video. I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you want to check out the fundraiser page, it is linked below in the description. Please do go and check that out, and let's see if we can work together and maybe get to £1,000. Listen, you don't have to donate a lot. It could even just be a £5, but if everyone just pitches in a little bit, we can achieve something great. I'll be completely open with it. I've already put in £10 and I'm thinking about putting in some more. If you guys put in some more, I'll put in some more. How does that sound? And just so you guys know, I do also have a selection of programs and guides on my website, which will also be in the description. We got a no BS guide to weight loss. There's a free workout plan in there if you want to get yourself something for free and trial out what I'm about and see if what I do works for you. But also with this video, I'm introducing my brand new 5k progression plan. So if you're someone that's currently unable to run 5k and you want a plan that's going to help you get there, check this out and use the discount code YouTube to get yourself 20% off that plan. This is your sign if you've always wanted to run a 5k, if running a 5k is your goal. I know for some people they'll be able to do this already and they wonder why I'd make something like this, but I know there's a lot of people out there that are struggling right now with running, that don't know how to get up to that first sort of distance, that milestone of 5k, and this plan is going to help you get there. Check it out, guys. It is linked in the description. If you have any more questions, please do leave a comment down below. Leave a like on this video and do subscribe if you enjoyed it. It really helps me out a lot and it lets me know that you people that have watched this video liked it and want to see more. All right, catch you in the next one, guys. Bye-bye.